Hi, welcome back. I'm Jade, and this is part 3 of my 6-part series on advice for anyone interested in becoming a pilot here in South Africa. Today we're going to discuss finances. I think it's important that I put a disclaimer there that this advice comes from my own experience and the experiences of my friends. These are mistakes we made and things we wish we knew before we started our flight training. I also want to mention that I am quite nervous to cover this topic. It is a reality, especially in South Africa, that many people who dream of becoming pilots and could be amazing pilots won't get the opportunity because of finances. There aren't that many bursaries available, and hopefully that will change, especially after COVID. Right now is a really tough time for pilots. The goal of today is to have an honest conversation about what you're getting yourself into financially, some tips on how to save money, and alternatives to help finance your pilot training. When you decide to start your flight training, you can either join the South African Air Force if you meet the list of requirements on their website, or you can go to a normal flight school either because you want a bursary or scholarship or you're paying for yourself, or you can go to 43 Air School. That process is a bit different. I know it's very expensive. It's double, sometimes triple the price, but I've only heard good things from them. I heard that the exam facilities are at the school and that the process is a lot quicker. But for an ordinary person, it really isn't that affordable. There are many options when it comes to financing your flight training. Some of the options include, of course, getting a job, possibly at your flight school or somewhere else, but keep in mind that you're going to need a really big salary to be able to maintain the payments for your flight training. You can apply for a bursary either at a private company or from the government. They do provide annual bursary opportunities for previously disadvantaged groups. You can also apply for scholarships. Some flight schools do provide scholarship competitions. You can also get a sponsor. I do suggest writing motivational letters. You can also take out a loan, but of course there are long-term financial risks involved in this option. Okay, I'm going to jump straight into it. Your flight training is going to be very expensive. It is going to cost you a lot more than any flight school will quote you. Keep in mind that at many flight schools, instructors are incentivized to make you fly more because their salary depends on how many times they fly per month and for how long. Some flight schools provide their own workbooks for you to purchase for exam preparation. They don't always have sufficient information, so I would just suggest buying AVEX, Oxford, or Jefferson. They may be more expensive, but you can be sure that they have the necessary information for you to pass. Also consider buying these books secondhand if you want to save some money. Another important tip is to buy one good quality headset that will last you a lifetime. Too many students try to save money by buying a cheaper headset, but it can cause a lot of pain and nausea during your flight training. A good quality headset can range between 7,000 Rand and 9,000 Rand, so please don't get a fright. I was one of those students who tried to save money by getting a cheap headset at first. So these are my first set of headsets. They caused so much pain and agony for me while flying. I got so nauseous, I had multiple ear infections and was vomiting. So eventually I had to get myself another headset. The second headset I decided to get was a David & Clark's headset. It's quite expensive, it's 7,500 Rand. I got it at a flight shop in Johannesburg, but it is so comfortable. It has lasted me many years and I still use it. A very important tip I want to mention is to please do not put all your money in the flight school, rather pay as you go. Flight schools are a business. They use that money to keep themselves afloat, they use it to buy aircraft, but sometimes they go bankrupt and you are unlikely to see that money again. Or you decide to change flight schools, you're also unlikely to see that money again. Please keep track of what money is going off your account. Sometimes we see a large amount in our account and we think it's going to last forever. It goes so quickly, it's a very expensive business. If your flight school offers a scholarship program, please take note of what processes and what aircraft the scholarship student takes. Keep in mind that it is most likely the cheapest and quickest route. The flight school is paying, so they want it to be as cheap and quick as possible. Flight schools want to make as much money out of you as possible, so try your best to be smart when choosing what aircraft you want to start your rating on. Online question banks do help and I do suggest them, but please do not spend excessive amounts of money on question banks or courses that make extraordinary claims that cost exuberant amounts of money. No question bank can guarantee that you pass. If you're going to use online question banks, you're going to need to buy data, so please incorporate that into your budget, especially with our high data rates. Some flight schools have exam facilities for your PPL, but don't have exam facilities for your CPL. So you'll have to drive to Johannesburg or Cape Town to write your CPL theoretical exams. So when setting up your budget, you'll have to incorporate the price for transport and accommodation. The CA website does list the exam locations in South Africa. I would have a look at that before deciding on my flight school. It could possibly help you save a lot of money. In my experience, I had to pay for ground school as well as extra classes when I had any exam questions for instructors. Depending on which aircraft your flight school has available, it can cost between 1,000 to 2,500 Rand per hour. When choosing a flight school, weigh the pros and cons of having it at an uncontrolled airspace or at an airport. If you choose to have it at an airport, you might have more experience speaking to ATC, which is air traffic controllers, but you might spend a lot more money burning fuel while you wait in the holding point for larger aircrafts to land. When setting up your budget, please keep in mind that you do need a specific flight calculator as well as other tools for your exams. You might need a uniform and specific sunglasses when flying. Keep in mind it does cost money to renew your license every year. It also costs money to go for your medical checks, and depending on your license, you might need to go yearly, and your medical aid is unlikely to cover that. When you join a flight school, you also have to pay insurance to use the aircraft. Lastly, be kind, share your resources. There are so many pilots that are struggling out there. I think it's important that you view it as a community helping one another out instead of competition. The aviation industry is so small, so you need to have a good reputation. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you have any additional tips or advice for someone starting their flight training, please comment it below. My next video is going to be about choosing your flight school. Please check it out once it's available. Thanks so much again. I hope you have a great day. Bye.